Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the reading of Fate Prototype, Volume 5. We're on Act 4 of Night of Fate. Not to be confused with Night with an N. But if they do that and they do like the next chapter is a Night of Fate, oh god, that'd be real. That'd be extra kino. We'll have to see. Anyways, let us get reading. It was as if the stars came down from the heavens and down onto the night sky of Tokyo. A city without night. A metropolis of 10 million people, banishing the darkness with artificial light. A girl gazed down upon it, seemingly bereft of emotion, as if it were merely one of her possessions. She stood on the southern tower of a twin-spiraled skyscraper said to be modeled after foreign cathedrals. Two servants stood at her side. The girl was supernatural. Seijo Manaka, born omnipotent yet acting in the form of a girl. Within her, a love powerful enough to devour Tokyo, to chew the world itself into pieces. One day in February 1991, late at night. The rooftop of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building's first main building, Shinjuku Ward, Tokyo. I come bearing a report, Lady Manaka. 240 meters above the ground, exposed to the howling wind of the night, a tall figure stood to report to his young master, Castor Paracelsus. Despite being told that he did not need to follow her all the way there, the loyal magus stood beside his master with an expression that suggested it was only natural. He may have been called diligent by some, overly earnest by others. While he always had that tendency, this stiffness had only grown more pronounced in the last few days. No wonder, Assassin murmured inwardly, also standing quietly at the girl's side. You've learned the truth of the Greater Grail, haven't you? In fact, it was remarkable that he was even capable of maintaining his previous demeanor. The stronger the wish expected of the Holy Grail, the deeper the regret and sorrow carried on from one's past life, the greater the shock a servant will face when confronted with the Greater Grail. Had she not met her master, had she not touched her, or had she not met the boy, she would easily have been broken. That was what Assassin felt. Neither a proud soul nor the resilient will of a hero had ever dwelled within her. Having existed solely as a weapon for the Order, a tool of war, she was simply too inept when it came to feeling anything at all. But Castor had not broken either. His gentle eyes, his calm demeanor, all had remained unchanged. So did his actions, rooted in loyalty. His impression of a cool-headed magus showed no alteration. Only a taut thread. I think that should be T-A. Yeah, that's the wrong taut. Only a taut thread of tension remained exposed, impossible to conceal. And yet the girl showed no desire to point it out. Surely she had noticed. The girl Castor spoke to, who held not just Tokyo but the entire world in the palm of her hand, was an existence to whom impossibility itself was inconceivable. If she said nothing, then surely saying nothing was the correct course. Wait, if she said nothing, then surely saying nothing was the correct course of action. That does make sense. Since yesterday, Saber has continuously moved throughout the city. I presume that he is searching for the location of the Greater Grail. Castor's words slipped smoothly into her ears, even against the strong winds. Some sort of vocal transmission using wind elemental magecraft? Clever. Saber is a pretty impatient man, isn't he? Indeed. I wish the guest of honor would just wait like he's supposed to. Her voice flowed like a song. Though she wielded no magecraft, her voice still seemed strangely unimpeded by the wind. Their master was a flower. No matter what storm assailed her, she would not break. She was an ever-unchanging flower. Neither blades, nor curses, nor magecraft, nor even the beast slumbering within the Holy Grail could harm her. The moonlight and countless lights scattering below her only blessed her. Surely, until the last moment. There is so much that I can do, but... Her master. Her lady. Oh wait, no, is that Assassin? I think this is Assassin. There's much that I can do, but... Her master, her lady. The girl who could not die even if she touched poison. The radiant being that had forgiven her for instinctively shielding Tatsumi in the subterranean darkness. Assassin swore her absolute loyalty once more. Never again would she... I just saw some very interesting words down there. Never again would she commit a disgraceful act. Within the flow of time... wait, I'm just trying to see who said that. Is this... Who's saying this? Is this her? I can't tell. I think that this is... Because, okay, this... So this is Manaka, because it's Master's voice. So I'm guessing it's Manaka. Within the flow of time, there are events that have become completely fixed, that cannot be overcome. Oh, here we go, yeah. Even if I create the possibility for Britain to survive with my own two hands, if we collide with the fixed course of events, we'll vanish without a trace. Either way, the glorious Britain will fall, the Saxon people will establish a new nation, and, eventually, the Britain that exists into the modern day will be born. A pruning theoretical phenomenon. Oh my god, there it is. I can't believe we're talking about it here. Then again, I think that this always exists. Well, because this got brought up in Fate Extella, and this definitely came out after... I know this came out after FGO and Extella, so yeah, it makes sense, right? I'm pretty sure it came out after Fate. When did this come out? When did this come out? I'm gonna look this up, because I'm really curious. When did Fate Prototype Volume 5 come out? Now I'm curious. Came out in 2019. When did Fate Extella come out in Japan? 2017. Okay, and just to double check, when did Fate Grand Order come out in Japan? That was 2015. So yeah, it's yeah. Okay. So this is quite a bit into their lifespan, so that makes sense why this would be here. Anyways, pruning theoretical phenomenon. Yes, and the world continues into the present. A melancholy tone mingled with their master's voice. It was an exceedingly rare occurrence, an abnormal situation like the sun suddenly vanishing in broad daylight. Then, for his sake, I have to stop everything. I must destroy. Even without hearing the end, Assassin understood. Castor surely did too. The past, human history. The Holy Grail was needed to destroy everything that shaped the world. The Beast of Revelation. As a booster to enhance their master's power. It is said that her magic circuits had extraordinary, almost supernatural capabilities befitting her omnipotence that could achieve miracles beyond mystery itself. Alas, perhaps because she was an existence so singular, she lacked quantity. She could perform nearly impossible miracles, but there were inherent limits to their scale and frequency. However, with the magical energy of the beast slumbering within the cradle of the Holy Grail, that limitation could be lifted. Just a little further. Yes, just one more step. The pure souls that Assassin and Castor had gathered from the capital over the past several days, the lives of countless young women, would soon just barely reach the quantity equivalent to the soul of a single heroic spirit. Then, when the two servants gave their lives, the Greater Grail would activate at last. It would probably be tonight. In this far eastern city, the world would end and her master's wish would be fulfilled. Assassin, a voice called out to her. Lost in reason, her reaction was delayed. Raising her head after half a breath, Assassin's vision met her master's, turning back while overlooking the dazzling Tokyo nightscape. Seijo Manaka, a delicate flower, was reaching out toward her. Touching. Being touched. Even as others watched. Her skin, her chin, the white fingertips gently touched her brown skin, which was death itself, as if handling something fragile, as if holding a fleeting bubble. What had she done back then? She trembled. She remembered her whole body shuddering, burning with excitement, boiling over. Ah, Lady Manaka. She had followed her since the day they met. She believed that the reason the Holy Grail had granted her new life was to meet this girl, and yet, the joy of being touched, the thing I've always longed for, it was so similar. She could say it was exactly the same. I feel it was not only with you, but with him too, with Tatsumi. It was good that her face was covered by her skull mask, the smile born of ecstasy and joy, intoxication and exaltation, the teary face born of self-reproach and shame, loneliness and sorrow. Both expressions mingled together surely made her face terribly ugly. Oh my god, she has a name. Hassan. Zil, was it? Oh, she actually has a name. Very interesting. She raised her gaze. Seeing the girl's face, Assassin went stiff. Her expression, the emotions floating on her face, she had never seen them before. They were, the day before last. You were wonderful. Whether that boy was dead or alive, it didn't matter to you. You were so desperate. Her mouth curved into a cheery smile like daylight itself. I'm sure you understand this feeling. Falling for someone, loving them, becoming utterly consumed by them. It's the most wonderful thing in the world. Her eyes, like shadows of night, held sorrow. It truly is wonderful, isn't it? He couldn't speak. Even though this girl had given her her gaze and her words, she couldn't offer a single thing in return. She was simply stunned. Still trembling, she felt the lonely chill as the heat drained from her body. You two have done enough. No more gathering sacrifices. I'll go get one myself. She didn't need an escort. All that Assassin could do was watch her back as she vanished into the darkness. God, she's terrifying. That night, she didn't know it, but it would be their final farewell in this second life of hers. Regarding a master going rogue. Masters who participate in the Holy Grail War, that is, who use servants to participate in a fierce battle to the death, often possess their own heartfelt desire. It is something that makes participation in the ritual worthwhile despite the danger posed to their lives. It is likely their lifelong goal. A Magus's greatest wish should be to reach the root. But there are exceptions. It is these exceptions that demand our attention. For those who still cling to their own desire, the risk of losing their identities as magi is considered low. The Holy Grail War is a rare form of ritual magecraft, but it is not the only path to the root. Rather, research cultivated over a lineage of generations could also be considered the true path. Therefore, participants who retain their own desires can easily maintain a cool perspective in the chaos of battle, because they retain the option to abandon the Holy Grail whenever they see fit. But those who cling to personal desires will sometimes go rogue with alarming ease. An excerpt from an old notebook. And so, the girl danced through the night sky of Tokyo. She descended upon the streets of West Shinjuku, densely packed with skyscrapers, lightly crossing roads deserted by the night, passing through the Central Park, which resembled a forest. She hopped along the wide tracks where so few vehicles ran, like a fairy running across a lake in a picture book. There was a smile on her lips, and yet her eyes were moist with hints of sorrow. Suginami Ward, Tokyo. She arrived in a quiet, residential neighborhood. Though she lived there for some long time, it was hard for her to call it familiar. At this hour, is she gonna kill her sister? Oh no. At this hour, that one would almost certainly be asleep. Sleeping soundly, peacefully, knowing nothing, understanding nothing. Oh my god, she's going to kill her sister. I hope she wakes up properly. A bounded field was cast over the entrance, hallway, stairs, and bedroom door. Her father had placed it. A parent's concern for his fragile daughter? He was still cautious, even though the Holy Grail War was practically over, though in truth his worries were not entirely unfounded. Indeed, she supposed that her father's actions were noble. They were still too insignificant, they held no meaning to her. A simple walk caused the barrier to dissolve. A simple murmur caused the magecraft to lose its power. I wonder what kind of face she'll make. This is terrifying! Someone she had already said her goodbyes to. The morning before last, she hadn't forgotten. I'm glad you're able to bear it for me. I wonder if you'll understand it too one day. No, I think it would be best if I didn't. Oh my god. She didn't lie. Everything she said had been sincere. Well, if she had a heart. I just felt like it. You know what? You're the one who made me do it, right? She had predicted that she would never return to their home. She had predicted that she would never see her again. Because she lived by the rule of never seeing a future that she was involved in, predictions like this could sometimes be betrayed. Oh, so she can just see the future, but she refused to see her own future because she likes surprises, right? The girl may have been surprised. Such a small life. That a mere mortal, pitiable, ephemeral, far too fragile life could make her act this way. The bedroom. Standing by the pillow, she looked at her sister's sleeping face. Her sister, no more than a human being, sleeping just as she imagined, oh, there should be a period. Sleeping just as she imagined, sleeping soundly, peacefully, not knowing nothing, unaware of what she had done. So this is how you look when you sleep. I've never seen it before. Big sis? She blew a breath onto her cheek, finally waking her sister. Rubbing her tired eyes, she returned a blank stare. I'm sorry, it's quite late. The girl reached out gently. No, without even realizing the faint emotion rising up within her for the first time. What was it? That tiny speck of black, smaller than a dot, that had fallen onto her pure white spirit. She couldn't understand. She was far too omnipotent. She couldn't grasp it. She was far too removed from humanity. She could not even be clear if it was the emotion people called jealousy. Hey, Ayaka. You met someone last night, didn't you? Oh my god, she's jealous of her meeting with Saber. Oh my god. This is horrible. Who's this? Seems like you quite liked the gift I gave you, didn't you? A voice suddenly addressed her, right after seeing off the girl who was her master. Okay, so I'm guessing this is Castor. In the vast ritual space designated as the new base, a cavern somewhere beneath Tokyo with a three-dimensional magical circle engraved around the Greater Grail. Just as she was about to head to her private room, words reached Assassin's ears. Not through transmission, but as direct spoken words. There were many unusual occurrences that night. It had been a long time since they'd spoken alone like this, ever since the incident the other day when he'd given her the gift. Though she couldn't be certain, since she didn't ask him directly, the Magus seemed to be avoiding direct conversation. Was it a whim? No. Castor wasn't one to act in such a shallow way. He had to have approached her with some intent. Castor, I have no answer to that question. Oh, I see. She thought that he would simply turn away. But the man renowned as a master alchemist did not move. He stood in the shadows. They suited him well. He looked like he belonged in the shade of darkness, just as her own existence was defined by movements in the dark, creeping and killing. Even though he met a tragic end, he must have been a widely renowned medical practitioner in his time. He surely had many admirers. Let's make this not a thing. As he surely had many admirers. It was truly a life worthy being enshrined upon. No, these are just two separate thoughts, right? He surely had many admirers. Period. Yeah, that's two separate thoughts, right? He surely had many admirers. It was a life truly worthy of being enshrined upon the throne of heroes. How ironic. An anti-hero like herself, and a righteous hero like him. See, it's funny though, because I'd say they are quite different, right? They're the opposites, really. Yet now serving the same master. For the same purpose, over the last few days, repeating the same actions, capturing countless innocent girls who knew nothing about mystery or the Holy Grail. I'm sorry. I know it's rude to apologize, I know it's rude to repeat myself. If you're going to apologize, don't say it at all. No, I cannot let this opportunity slip past me, Vishakanya. He drew his face closer. Close enough their lips might touch. Hey, don't do that. She, the one who rules over us, has absolutely no interest in you. You understand what I mean when I say this, don't you? Yes. You should have realized. The feelings you have for her are not the noble emotions you longed for in life. They are not love, not affection. A wish, perhaps, but if it would be called something similar yet different, you cannot deny it. That is, I understand. Close the quotation marks. Quietly, she cut the Magus off. There was no need for him to go on. Because She already understood what he had meant that night when he called the walking corpse a gift. He meant that she should know what love truly was. At the same time, she couldn't grasp what he was saying at all, but she knew now. She understood. She relived the night over and over, again and again, hearing the words the boy who worried for her. No, the words of the corpse reborn that had once been the boy. It felt like being stabbed repeatedly in the chest with a dagger. Each time the words reached her. That was enough. She no longer cursed Castor's abhorrent actions. Then, assassin, you still have a choice. What? This place is a bottomless pit of darkness, the cradle of a wicked beast, and yet your soul has not lost its light, even within this pinnacle of merciless cruelty. You, who tried to protect the boy's corpse that night, can reclaim your heroic nature. Should she continue on like this? Should she continue on to her death? Dwell in the shadows as a follower of darkness, as an enemy to all that was glorious? Accept her role as the attendant to a beast that would devour the world? That was the Magus's question. Would she fall endlessly? Just like the Persian bowman she had met once. Thank you, Magus. Castor Paracelsus was such a roundabout and meddlesome man. If her ability to alter her appearance was just a bit more refined, she would become a mirror and bounce the words back at him. Instead, she gave a slow nod. There was no hesitation in it. Surely the moment her master touched her just then, or perhaps the night before last, the instant she instinctively protected the boy's corpse, she had already decided her entire future. I have come to know my place. True fulfillment. I could surely have attained it. So please, don't make that face. Foolish Magus, existing as an evil being, yet persistently wishing for good to be done. But even then, even that, was something I could have never known without Seijo Manaka. Okay, now we're fully in her point of view here. My thoughts were normal. My senses were calm. I accepted everything as it was. My heart as clear as the surface of still water. Not a single ripple existed. No hesitation whatsoever. No, that's not true. My heart was abnormal. It was not calm. It wavered and wavered until it was lost. Have I already gone mad? I am Hassan of the Serenity. Hassan-i Sabah, the fool who manifested as the heroic spirit of shadows. I should have pledged my loyalty to the girl who was able to hold me as I wandered the night streets of Tokyo, the one who could touch me without dying. And yet every night I clung to Tatsumi. My boiling, surging flesh was repulsive to me, and yet I wept like a pathetic woman. Even though I had found a master, even though I thought I was overflowing with contentment, even though I believed that I could die for her, I still desire it. Yesterday, the day before last, in the corner assigned to me underground in the room Castor created that resembled a stone prison, I clung to the remains of what was once a boy who lived in Tokyo, the precious remnants of a being that surely held wishes and feelings. Look now. Even now, he waits for me. A dead mass of flesh, reaching out towards me as I deliberately made my footsteps audible to reveal myself to him. Tatsumi. No, the thing that was once Tatsumi. You... He was frozen in time. Frozen in the last moment of information recorded before my lips melted his brain and killed him. Run away. He wanted to flee. To save what looked to him like a poor girl who was dragged into the Holy Grail War. Magecraft, the Holy Grail, mystery, things that should have been kept far away from the vulnerable, things that they should be protected from. You were weak. I'm just looking at this typo down here. You were so weak, so powerless, and yet even now you speak of words of concern for me, like a knight knelt before a fairy tale princess, like a... no, I think we used champion of justice earlier, like a champion of justice protecting all that was precious. Tatsumi, I peeled the white skull from my face. My true face, Due to the nature of my assassinations, I did possess a visage. Is that the correct word for this? Because that's just the French word for face, but how is it used in English? Is that the face visage meaning? I'm gonna look this up. A person's face, the surface of an object presented to view, a person's facial expression. I think that should be a facade, maybe? I don't think a visage is the correct term here, right? Because they're talking about... Yeah. Let's look up some alternate words for mask here. What could we use? Let's see here. Mask. Synonyms of mask. What do we got? Costume, cloak, veil, disguise. So yeah, I'm meaning more like a cloak, shroud, blanket, veneer, varnish. Yeah, facade is the one that I'm thinking of. I feel like facade is a better idea. But let's be fancy about it. Ah, there we go. Right? Because due to the nature of my assassination methods, I did possess a face. Well, of course, every human has a face, right? Among the many successive Hassani Sabahs, leader of the Order of Assassins, there were those who said, oh, wait, oh, never mind. Son of a gun, I guess I'm wrong. It's literally, no, because there are some who discarded even their faces. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, some Hassans have no face. Oh, shoot, that's interesting. They were said to be those who discarded even their faces to sever ties with the past. I was myself nowhere near a noble figure, though. In the end, I was born a woman, served my purpose as a woman, and died as a woman. As I possess the strength to abandon myself, would my existence have been different? Okay, is this spell one? Isn't it Vishakaya? Because we heard that before there. I think because that one comes up as correct. Yeah, Vishakanya. Let's just copy that and put that down there. Vishakanya. Poison flower. I'm back. Run away. Survive. Thank you. I am alive, Tatsumi. Whispering, I embraced you, just as I always did. You were so cold. Kitano Tatsumi. I could no longer recall the warmth you had in life, but I could recall the sweet sensation, the softness of your lips as I took that life. Tatsumi. Truly just touching someone the way I touch you would kill them. A toxic mass in human form, every part of my body manufactured, defined and utilized to take lives. That was me. Before I was etched into the throne after death, I acted to slaughter anything that defied our doctrine. I'm a murderer. Don't you remember? Yes, I've killed so many. Killed. Valiant generals hailed as heroes, knights, even boys who looked like you. I've killed more people than one could count. So it was only fitting that I was spoken of as a Grim Reaper on the late-night radio shows. An assassin in a skull mask. Is it Vashakanya or Vishakanya? Versus Vashakanya? Which is it? Okay. It is Vish. Yeah. So it is. Yeah, Vishakanya. Yeah, I'm just looking here. Okay. Where were we? Yeah, an assassin in a skull mask. One of the Hassani Sabahs who served as a leader of the Order of Assassins, a master poisoner known as Serenity. The Order of Assassins who had turned the legendary poison maidens called the Vishakanya, spoken of in... I don't think we got it capitalized. Is this capitalized? Nope. It's called the Vishakanya, spoken of in various periods across the world, including ancient India, into a real tool and a weapon of assassination. I killed targets with efficiency, at their bedsides, in back alleys, from behind cover. After ingesting specialized drugs to regulate the toxins in my body, if the flow of wind worked in my favor, I could slaughter entire armies. Oh my god, girl stink. Most often it was one-on-one though, secretly, discreetly. I would make contact with my target and take their life. Just as I did you. The appearance of a girl who would arouse your protective instincts was merely a temporary disguise. My body could endure any conceivable poison while being a mass of poison itself. Not just my nails, my skin and bodily fluids were a deadly venom. Not just my nails, but my skin and bodily fluids are a deadly weapon. Yeah, because it's not just listing. Silently snatching the lives of kings, nobles, and generals in their chambers. Lovers, fiancés. Insert special characters. Give me the not arrows. Where would it be under? Arrows, braille, currency. What would it be under? Just UI? A Latin supplement? No. Symbol, Latin. Here we go. Fiancé. Accent, right? That's how you say it, right? Fiancé? I'm going to double check. I know it has the accent usually. I'm pro putting in the accents. Fiancé. Yep, perfect. Double checked. Okay. Often, I would forge these relationships with my targets in the process leading up to their deaths. I was told that they were enemies to be killed, but even so, the people that I killed with these hands, this body and these lips were truly alive. They had parents, friends. They were human. Becoming intimate enough to lure my victims into complacency inevitably revealed this truth. There were a few whose temperaments I found appealing. There were even those who made me wonder if I would be happy if by some miracle we would have been happy. But in the end, I endlessly repeated the cycle of building a false happiness that could never be fulfilled, only to tear it all away with my own hands. There were bad people, but there was also those who I felt were good. I killed them all, as my duty demanded as the head of the order. Gradually, my mind began to break. I wavered, faltered, lost my composure, eventually lost the ability to think clearly. I went mad. I could kill no more. I went insane, or maybe I had finally found my sanity. I closed my eyes and recalled it. Tatsumi, I remember it as clearly as the moment I took your life. The end of the woman who lived as Hassan of the Serenity. According to the Order's records, I was beheaded by a military commander who grew suspicious of my behavior, a woman who wouldn't let him touch her. Oh, whoa. Or it was said that as I revealed my true identity as an assassin and begged the commander to kill me. The truth was simple. I, who tried to tell the commander the truth, the one I had let my guard down with, I, who tried to declare that I was an assassin of the Order, was beheaded the moment he looked away. By the hand of the Great One. Oh, the being who's said to rule over terror. Yo, okay. That's my boy, First Hassan. I was purged by my own leader. The final moment is the only one I can proudly say. The final moment is the only one that I can proudly say that I was Hassan Isaba. Tatsumi, no matter what I say, your reaction hardly changes. Like a broken machine. Tonight, you'll surely say it again. You don't want to kill me. Stay away, get out of here, I know. You've been broken for a long time now, and I was the one who broke you. No matter how many times I try to activate you, you don't say anything else. Not even in your final moments. Hassan. A voice, echoing through the stone cell. I could not react in time. After a full breath, I lifted my face. My eyes met the figure of you. You, who should not have been able to attain any new information when reaching out to me. Oh, you were going to touch me. You'd touch me. My skin, my cheek. Cold fingertips touched the same dark skin that killed you. Like a child seeking its mother. Like a parent comforting a child. My body shuddered violently. The sensation running down my spine was nothing short of a tremor, and I could not help but let out a gasp. I didn't know. The feeling coursing through my temporary ethereal body. Astonishment, excitement, lust, or something else entirely. My name. My name was no longer hidden behind the skull mask. I could not hide or conceal my emotions. With my true heart reflected in it, what did my face look like? true name. How do you stay away? Perhaps you could understand. Or Tatsumi, perhaps you could understand. Don't die. As I thought. You knew exactly what I was going to do, and yet... Or was it coincidence guided by Castor's Philosopher's Stone? Or an inevitability born from the preservation of your brain being better than I expected? I could not say for certain. Either way, a miracle occurred and you called my name. My true name. Even in the state, you were still worried about others. Kitano Tatsumi. You were a different sort of brilliance than she was. Truthfully, I wish it had been someone else. Someone who was meant to live beside you, to spend time tomorrow with you. Thank you. You were the first to say such a thing to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it was me standing before you. Tatsumi, I have loved you from the moment I killed you. Spinning words of love, I smiled gently. I let the tears well up in sorrow. Holding your hand, I raised a dirk formed from magical energy in my hand. Damn. Damn! Don't die. Don't want to kill. Run away. Live. Oh. Words carved into the wall of a stone cell. That's crazy. I can have fun with the font with those, too. And then, I was waiting alone in the passageway that led to the vast cavern. Only one path extended from the surface. To reach the Greater Grail slumbering deep underneath Tokyo, there was no other entry. I had a feeling. I had a certainty. He was coming. Overcoming any obstacle, he would surely find the cradle of the beast which threatened the world. Though I, as an assassin, possessed no skill for predicting the future. Even so, one could sense their own end, especially the second time around. Assassin. And there he was. Through the underground passage, though the underground passage should have had no light source, the night seemed to have his own radiance. The sky, silver night. For a moment I nearly froze in place. His gaze was that intense. That filled with such an underlying, an unyielding will and resolve. This must have been what the eyes of a true hero looked like. A far cry from an anti-hero like myself. A genuine savior, a warrior whose deeds would be passed down through generations. I'm sure that you would have gotten along well, Tatsumi. Saber, the finest servant of all. To be honest, I hadn't realized that you were so adept at investigation and exploration within cities. I could not have discovered it alone. I see. So we sought the cooperation of the Seijo family's head. The Greater Grail's ritual is underway. Not even you are allowed to pass me. Step aside. No. I will not say it again. The words were as sharp as a blade. He intended to stop it. The final ritual. Even as our master poured her entire soul into activating the Holy Grail. Why? I spat. Not out of rage, but out as of the final act of loyalty to the one who was my master. Her actions could be considered heinous, yes, but it is all to grant your wish. Wishes should be entrusted to the people of tomorrow. So boldly. You refused outright, Saber? You would not cling to evil, declaring that all of our master's actions were mistaken? And I swore to protect that child who made me realize that. Who? What child? For a moment, our master's younger sister came to mind, but no, I had no evidence to connect them and no time to ponder it. Why? Why this noble, dazzlingly radiant kindness? I lowered my dagger. The blood had already been wiped away, thinking would end there. The blood had already been wiped away, thinking would end there. We refused to direct that will toward our master. Time to kill one another. If he insisted on advancing, he would leave me no choice. Accelerate. Violet lightning. Cross. Sever. As a knight and assassin clashed blades, light burst from the shadows. So this was the difference between us. I thought I had some understanding of how to fight heavily armored knights, but that was pure arrogance. Slipping my blade through the gaps of such sturdy armor, it was an impossibility. I parried the first 2 strikes, but a devastating blow struck my body. My evasive maneuvers spared me from instant death, but my spiritual core was blown away. A golden sword with terrifying power. What form did the holy sword take when the invisible air was deactivated? I was no match. As long as I lived, I could not defeat him. Impressive. My mask shattered. I found the disgracer revealing my frightened, womanly face distasteful. Now, how would I fight? How would I kill? My ultimate technique, transforming all my flesh and blood into a poisonous flower. Even if it failed to reach him, it would bite. Yes, I had come to a resolution, all on my own. Regardless of what result her plan brings about, when the Holy Grail activates, the over 10 million people who live in this city will all die. I squeezed the words from my throat. I never intended to speak them. Only mere traces of magical energy remained. I should have shifted to attack. I think of nothing. Even if the sky splits, the earth cracks, and this world comes to an end, the loyalty to our master within me remains absolute. My lips, my tongue moved of their own accord. And yet, against my will. No, perhaps according to it. Right now, Tatsumi's sister is in Tokyo. I do not want her to die. I have thought that too. From the bottom of her heart, from the depths of my soul, I wished for it. I felt it. Even as I struggled to keep my thoughts normal, my senses calm, the words escaped my lips. Confusing myself, being bewildered by love, trembling in fear of death. Have I gone mad? The servants predetermined to manifest as a heroic spirit of the shadows, regarding the deployment of assassin. From a fighting power standpoint, there remains a lingering unease regarding servants summoned in this class. This can be particularly pronounced when facing the 3 knight classes or the berserker who excel at direct combat ability. Direct confrontation should be avoided. With their present concealment skill, should assassins truly be only deployed for assassination? Heroic spirits perceive not only magical energy, but also unique presence inherent to servants. It is from this detection that assassins can escape. An assassin's complete invisibility gives them the utmost advantage in terms of surprise attacks. However, this advantage no longer applies in combat between servants. An assassin's greatest effectiveness lies in the assassination of masters. Depending on the situation, they may even be able to slay one of the 3 knight classes, but even so, in combat, without the possibility of maintaining presence concealment, the chances of victory are slim. An excerpt from an old notebook. I never heard his reply. I could not hear what Saber said. And so, my detour ended there. I would complete what I had to do in this place. As an assassin with the true name Hassani Sabah, I would meet a fitting end. I would end as a poisonous flower. Let this second life come to an end. Even if I lost this life, even if I defied all natural laws, even if countless shaitans stood in my path, I would surely pass through the gates of death and see your wish fulfilled. Yes, for your sake, my beloved master, you who are more dazzling than anyone, you who are more terrifying than anyone, you who gave me the chance to embrace someone that I love, you who, like me, loves someone. Seijo Manaka. Shorter chapter this time for sure. Yeah, only about 20 pages. Okay, shorter chapter. Night of Fate, Act 5. That's what's coming up next, guys, so we will see you then for that as we continue on our thing. Again, we are literally at the halfway point. 80 of page 160, though, I mean, the last pages don't really count as much, but, you know, we're at the halfway point, so thank you guys for watching. We'll see you then for some more of Fate Prototype Volume 5. We'll see you then. Ciao. Yo.